Today is Thursday, July 24th, 2025. And it's been a hot one ever since June, the beginning of June. And today, is it only around 20 to 1? It's already about 92 degrees in the shade. And it's supposed to get up to around 100 today. And I know other places in the world and in this country are really hot. Well, I'm making this my first video for my channel. Actually, the channel's been around for a number of years. And it's lying dormant for... what the hell is that? It's been dormant for years. I tried to revive it occasionally, and I've had numerous other YouTube accounts and websites with videos and so forth. But I've been hearing so many disturbing things. But before I get to those topics, this channel, the word syncretic means different beliefs and principles. Now, I believe there's one principle and one belief who I call God, meaning good. But a lot of people have different beliefs and principles. That doesn't change reality, does it? That means we have to understand reality to benefit from what is real and true. Just like you have to understand math to benefit what's real and true. That bird wanted to go up here in that corner there. See, right in there is a bird nest. And he was going to fly up here. I won't be long, little birdie. I do love animals. And syncretic order, that name has been around for a number of years, that phrase. As a matter of fact, the first website I ever had in 2003, one of my email accounts associated with that website was banned. I don't know how you would say it, but my tech guy who created my website and monitored it and maintained it for me said he talked to the spam police, the spam cops, or whatever that is. I guess they understand blacklist and whitelisting and stuff around the world. And the way I remember him telling me was that the guy at the spam cop, whatever it is, spam house, told him, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but your email here is banned in about 3/4 of the world. He said, you must have really pissed somebody off. So that was my introduction into the World Wide Web, maintaining and having a website. All I had on there was maybe a home page and a forum. And in 2003, the Iraq War, the second Iraq War invasion was going on, and the world hated it, most of the world. And we had a forum there where people would post things about it, and I got some emails from some guy who said he was from the military, and he was just bitching and moaning. I still have it somewhere on my computer. Bitching and moaning at me, calling me names, threatening me. So that was my introduction in the World Wide Web as far as having a website goes. Before that, we had web TV just to get our feet wet and see what it was all about. Talk about that some other time. But so syncretic order was born out of the desire to bring people together. Let's discuss our problems. Let's talk about our problems. Whereas today, it's let's censor somebody who doesn't say what we want to say and what we want to hear. Well, that's not the way you learn. You learn by hearing diverse opinions and diverse beliefs. And yes, sometimes people be selfish and egotistical and want to have their way, their say, and shut people down, because nowadays people have no patience to hear somebody else's opinions and beliefs. Now, if you approach people in a different way, if you come to people and say things in a sincere way and you really mean well. Oftentimes, or certainly more times than not, people will engage you in a conversation. They might get heated about what you say, not really directed toward you. You just happen to be the one standing there voicing something they don't want to hear. I remember years ago, I had a friend in a musical group I was in, a band, and people said people said he was a hothead. He always wanted to fist fight with people and stuff very often. And they go, how come you guys get along? How do you're the only one he doesn't do that with. I said, well, I guess we have mutual respect. We have things that we like together, but I guess he understands that I'm not an egotistical person. I'm not a maniacal person. I'm not an angry, violent, mean, evil person. He knows that I'm a caring person, a loving person, someone who truly wants to listen, wants to understand, and that was important. And we had a long-time relationship. Same with my brother-in-law. When I was around 20 years old, I've known him at that time probably for about 3 or 4 years. And we were sitting around one time having a couple of beers, which I don't drink anymore, by the way. And he would start talking about Vietnam because he was over in Vietnam. And I said, well, I want to hear about it. He goes, you want to hear about it? You want to hear what happened to me in Vietnam? I said, yeah, I'm interested. And he kind of started crying. He said, nobody's ever said that to me. Nobody's ever wanted to hear about what happened to me in Vietnam. You're the first one, something to that effect. And I remember back during the Vietnam War, a lot of times the soldiers would come back and people would spit on them and give them all kinds of hell. I never could understand it. I was an early teen then, and I can never understand, why would you get mad at the soldiers? They're just going out and doing what they're told to do. Even though the war wasn't right, they were drafted. They were forced to go. And I couldn't understand why people treated them like that. But anyway, so I try to always listen to other people's side of the story. I try to be reasonable, because I want to know the truth. The most important thing is to know the truth, to know what's real. That's important to all of us. We need to know the truth. Not what we want to hear, not what we think we know. We want to know the truth. That's the most important thing. What is truth? Because that is what controls our whole life. It doesn't do any good not to know math, does it? Because if you don't know math, who's going to suffer for it? You are, because you're not going to benefit from understanding math. Well, we're not going to benefit without understanding truth. And a lot of people in religious circles want to get mad at you. Some people want to save your soul and don't want you to burn in hell for everlasting life, for eternity, and they mean well. And other people just want to be right, and they want to tell you that you're wrong because they don't want to have to upset the apple cart of their thinking. They don't want to have to upset their belief system and have to change the way they thought all their life and feel like they've been screwed over. Like, how could this happen to me? And it's really coming to a crescendo now. It's coming to the tipping point in all facets of society all over the world. And this is one reason why I thought about starting to address these situations on this channel. Because people are looking for answers, people are looking for an outlet, people are wanting to feel good. And in this channel, we're going to talk about many things. We're going to talk about religion, we're going to talk about spirituality, we're going to talk about culture and society, we'll talk some about politics, we'll talk about what you call self-help, self-healing, topics like that, maybe some other ones. I definitely will not limit it, because syncretic means different beliefs and principles. So we'll be touching on many of these things with the aim and the purpose to share ideas and insights. I am not wanting to preach to you what you should believe and what you should do and how you should think. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to explain things that I understand and I believe and I've experienced, share my life experiences with you. Doesn't mean you have to believe them or accept them. I don't care. I really don't. Because if what I say and what I think put forward on this channel, if it's beneficial to you, that means a lot to me. Because if you benefit, that's the whole purpose. That's my payoff. If you can benefit, if I can help you. Because it also helps me. Paul said in the Bible, if you teach one, you teach yourself. And oftentimes I'll find when I'm talking or recording something like this, and I do this all day long for my own benefit, you find that things start coming to you in your thought process that you didn't realize before while you're talking. Things are revealed to you while you're talking, so you're teaching yourself at the same time you're teaching somebody else or explaining or sharing information. And that's what's important. I'm not here to preach. I don't want you to think I'm preaching to you. Now, yeah, it may sound that way because I'm making a point. It may sound that way because I'm elucidating my own personal experience. It may sound that way that I'm trying to win you over. Well, sure, if I'm right, I want you to be right with me. If I've experienced something that's helped me and I know can help you, I would like that to happen. But it's not my job to make it happen for you. Even Jesus didn't do many healing works in certain places because the people didn't believe him. They didn't want to hear about it, so he just left. He said, don't cast your pearls before swine. Don't cast your wisdom in front of people who don't want to hear it. Don't waste your time. Doesn't mean you don't care. Doesn't mean that they're really still not God's children. But they don't want to hear about it, so they will not benefit by it. I just want us all to get along. I just can't understand how people can live a life where they just want to screw people over. They want to get in your phone. They want to get in your computer. They want to follow you. They want to take your money. They want to say evil things about you. They want to put you in jail. They want to shut you down. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want you to think independently. They don't want you to think against them. They don't want you to know anything that can heal you, make you happy, make you whole, make you prosperous, give you supply. No, the average person, all we want to do is to have a good life. It's enough just to have a good life. It's enough on our plate just to try to be healthy and happy, prosperous, have good people in our life, do good things. That's all we want. What makes these other people go crazy with wanting to have power over others and wanting to screw things up and wanting to kill themselves and others? I don't get it. But I don't want to get it in the sense that that's not real. That's not true. So anyway, this is an introduction into a little bit about me. Oh, that poor bird, now we've seen he wanted to go up there. They sit on that fence and they come over here and they fly up there. I'll leave in a few minutes, but I want you to know that we can be friends. I want to be friends. I want to be helpful. And in your comments, you can voice your opinion. I don't want to turn the comments off. I want to hear what you have to say. But I want us to be thoughtful. I want us to be honest and sincere in trying to find the truth, in trying to learn how to be healthy and happy. Because if you're healthy, then you're going to be happy. If you're happy, you're going to be at peace. If you're at peace, you're going to be more prosperous and more successful. And you're going to bring a good place to live in your life and good people in your life to help you. And you're going to have supply. And it's important to find things that make you happy. That's most important. We're going to talk about stories like that. I'm going to share stories like that about people who've had healings just from changing the way they thought. And some of these things you might have heard about, and some you might have not, and some maybe you might want to share with us in the comment section, or you can send me an email. SYNCRETICORDER@gmail.com is this email, or we'll set up another one. But anyway, so I hope that you get something out of these videos. Now you may ask also, by the way, why is he not showing his face? I'm not a ghoul. I'm not the most beautiful person in the world. And I know it makes it more personable when you see someone's face, so you feel like you're talking with somebody, or at least you're sitting in the presence of somebody sitting across the table or across the way from one another. And and it makes it more personal, more human, gives a human touch. Maybe we'll get there. But the main reason why I don't do that is because I don't want you focusing on me. I want you listening to what I'm saying. Because oftentimes when we're looking at somebody, we're sizing them up. Oh, that hair's out of place, or oh, look, that got a crooked smile, or one eye's bigger than the other, or look at that nose. How could he walk around the nose like that? Whatever. I don't want the focus to be on me personally. I want the focus to be on what we're talking about. And to bring a point about that, I remember, I think it was during one of Bill Clinton's presidential runs, they were talking about when people see the debate versus when they hear it like on the radio, that there's a different gauge about who won the debate. Like if they watch the debate, they may say, well, Clinton won, but if they just hear it, they may say whoever the opposing person was at the time. And I think they said that about Kennedy and Nixon back in 1960. When people watched Kennedy, they felt that Kennedy won the debate because Nixon was sweaty and uncomfortable, and Kennedy was cool, calm, and collected. Plus, Kennedy was a handsome guy. He was a bit younger than Nixon, I think. Either way. So the way Kennedy looked was more of a focal point. It took some of the attention away from what he said. Not that what he said was bad or wrong or anything else. But when you look at something, like I remember when I first heard the Beatles, back in 1964. I was about 9 years old. My sister was 7. The song I Want to Hold Your Hand was big. And my sister goes, oh, listen to this. Isn't this a cool song? And I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. Unbeknownst to me, my older sister, 5 years older than me, who was 14, she had a number of Beatle records and on different labels. I didn't know she had. I don't remember even hearing those songs. But I Want to Hold Your Hand. And I really didn't care for the song. I'm still not overly crazy about it as far as a favorite Beatles song goes, even though they're my favorite group. But when I saw them on Ed Sullivan for the first time at my grandparents' house, then I liked them. Because of the way they looked, I thought they looked cool. They were certainly different looking than anybody else at the time in America, and it borne out. So looking at somebody, those are just a couple examples. But looking at somebody will distract you from the message. And I want you to be focused on what we're speaking about instead of how I look. Maybe at a later time I'll post a picture or something. But let's share insights. If you have links to interesting things, please leave them. And we'll see what happens. I hear a bird. Probably the baby's right up there. Yep, that's where they are. God love them. So anyway, I hope you've listened to this whole thing. I hope that you will come back and you will share this channel with other people. Like I said, it's not for me personally because I know what I know anyway. And I'd love to hear what you know. I would love to hear your insights. I'd love to hear your personal stories. Everybody has a story. They had the old song, every picture tells a story. That's true, but every person has a story. Everybody has a story to tell, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And I like to hear those. People think I'm kidding when I meet them for the first time, and I don't really know them. And I'm interested in what they have to say. I'm interested in hearing what they go through. And most importantly, I want them to feel like they got a friend. I want them to feel loved. I want them to feel at peace. And many times when I discuss things with people, they get a big smile on their face and they get very elated and almost shout hallelujah, literally. And I said, well, the reason why that happens is because what I told you is true. And the reason why it happens is because you know it's true. You feel it in yourself. It's just that somebody had to light the fuse. And I wasn't doing it in a preachy way. I was just telling them stories that I'm going to share some of these stories with you over time. And they resonated with those stories, and they resonated with what I said those things meant and what it meant to them. So I hope that we can get together from time to time. I hope to make My plan is to try to make one video a day. You know, preferably about 15 minutes long. I don't know how long this one is because I'm kind of in the dark. This one's 20 minutes. But this is just an introductory. So I wish you well. God bless you all. I hope that we can share insights and truths and stories together for the unforeseeable future, into the future. And with that, I'll say namaste and God bless.